This is a brief video showing the install of an A139Pro 3-channel dashcam and hardwire kit into a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 2-door. I mounted the camera on the driver's side just beside the rear view mirror. I've wired it into the auxiliary switch rather than the battery. This will enable me to switch the camera off when I'm parked at home. One thing to remember is that you must have that switch on before you start the car, otherwise the dash cam will not turn on when you start the vehicle. With the wiring for the camera, I've ran the cabling underneath this plastic trim, which is quite easy to remove. So both the power and the rear camera I ran to this corner here. I then ran the power down to the wiring loom, which is located underneath the glove box for the power. The camera, rear camera wire runs along through this roll bar, which you have to remove the trim there, and then I've got it running down behind the seatbelt cover. So the cable runs down behind this seatbelt cover, and then underneath this ledge here I've just pushed it in. And I started from the camera and ran the wire back from the car. So the cable that's got an end that has to plug into the camera, you feed it this way. The cable comes out through here, see that there. And then I've ran it up behind this, which is only velcroed on, and then have put the cable onto the wiper fluid tube, because when that glass flips up you need to have some slack there. You can't just run the cable up under here with a short length, because obviously when you fold that up it needs room to be able to stretch. So I ran the power cable down behind this handle here. I removed that, and also had to remove the speaker cover, and then I popped this side panel out here, which was quite easy to do. Also took the glove box out, that just pops out, and there is a bolt here that you can ground the wiring to, and then you have the auxiliary wiring loom located up there, and I hooked into auxiliary switch 3, which is a pink and orange cable, and also to the ignition cable, which is also pink and orange, so you'll need to use a multimeter to work out which is which. Here's the voltage protection on your battery switch, so you can set the voltage at which the camera will cut off in parking mode. I had it set to 12.4, which is the highest setting. However, I found that the camera only lasted for about half hour. If you I set it down to 12.2 volts, and it seemed the camera went for a couple of hours at that point in parking mode. With that, let's put that back up in there out of harm's way. So you will need to change the fuses over in your fuse box under the bonnet. They need to be 5 amp, so you need to change the ignition cable, and that fuse is located at F50. You need to change that to a 5 amp, and whatever, if you use the battery, you need to change that to a 5 amp, and in my case I'm using the auxiliary switch, so that's 15, but I've got to change that down to a 5. I didn't use the battery, so no need to change that. So when you go look in your fuse box, I'm pretty sure that's switch 3 there, that one there, I've changed that to a 5 ampere. And I think that's the ignition one up there as well. It might be the other way around. So this is a 3-channel camera, and I ran the wiring for the interior camera into this ACC unit. However, I went to stick the camera on and it fell off. It didn't stick to the plastic here, so I've got to work something out there, but that's the wiring there.